시작 함께 그려요. 같은 꿈을 꾸는 우리 같은 추억 속에서 오늘 밤은 끝이 아닌 엔딩. 낯선 떨림 시작을 나는 기억해요. 너무 심장이 뛰어 눈을 감았죠. 랄라랄랄라 끝이 없는 시간 속을 함께 할게요. 빈틈 사이로 빛이 들어와 마법처럼 세상을 따스히 녹이며 얼어붙은 내 맘에 분홍빛 예쁜 꽃이 펴 처음 만난 것처럼 웃어주네요. I feel you, it's all for you, feel you, 오직 think about you. 지금 모습 이대로 내 곁에 있어주겠니. 내 맘에 너라는 낭만을 채워줘. 처음 그 느낌으로 가득 남아줘. 햇살처럼 빛나던 그날이 떠올라 살짝 눈을 감으면 선명해져요. 랄라랄랄라 끝이 없는 우리 이야기 계속될 거야. 빈틈 사이로 빛이 들어와 마법처럼 세상을 따스히 녹이며 얼어붙은 내 맘에 분홍빛 예쁜 꽃이 펴 처음 만난 것처럼 웃어주네요. 빈틈 사이 밝게 비춘 그 길 끝에 네가 서 있어. 새롭게 펼쳐지는 엔딩. 큰 소리로 너를 부르게 내 손잡아 시작해. 어떤 순간도 어느 시간도 너와 내가 꿈꾸던 곳으로 데려가. 함께 그려갈 내일에 다가올 우리 미래에 밝은 빛을 비추며 영원할 거야. I feel you, it's all for you, feel you, 오직 think about you. 지금 모습 이대로 내 곁에 있어주겠니. 내 맘에 너라는 낭만을 채워줘. 처음 그 느낌으로 가득 남아줘.
Good evening, welcome back to my game of Crusader Kings 2, where King Gregory the Silent of Italy has managed to claim the duchies of Bavaria and Angria, and thus occupy quite a lot of the territory of former Germany. Well, it's still Germany. No, well, de jure, it's still Germany, and this is important because King Gregory's plan here is that he or possibly his successor wants to usurp the crown of Germany so as to have both Germany and Italy in order to form the Holy Roman Empire. And for this he needs a total of 51% of the counties of de jure Germany. Last we looked, is he at war at the moment? Yeah, I know. So Germany has 59 counties, and if we just ask Python the question, what is and we currently hold 30 of them, and so 30 over 59 is 50.84%, which is less than 51%. So we don't quite have the 51% of the counties of Germany that we require. We need one more. And this is slightly fiddly because, of course, King Gregory now has a truce with the King of Germany, which will last until 1069. So we can't just go to war with Germany and say, please give us another county. I mean, we have no shortage. Gregory has no shortage of casus belli against the King of Germany. We can claim the county of Eichstätt, for instance. I'm pretty sure that's in de jure Germany. Yes, that would do the job. Or Lausitz, yeah. Or Lübeck, or Frankfurt. Somewhere we've got a de jure claim on Frankfurt. We've even got a duchy claim on Upper Lorraine, but that's for someone who is an unlanded woman, so it would be a bit hard to get that into our kingdom. But this would make all Christian rulers have a minus 25 opinion of me, and cost me almost all of my prestige.
Why is it so expensive at the moment?
Because I have a truce.
Truce, right, yes. Okay.
So I don't really want to do that.
Let's just do a quick check. How old are you? How feeble, sick, flibbly young are you?
I am stressed and 49.
Okay, and you've got a truce for 10 years.
Yes.
Right, so the other option here is you plot to kill the King of Germany, and then you don't have a truce with the next guy.
Yes. I do actually have there are other considerations which make that look like a good plan. We will get onto those. The King of Germany is 48, incidentally, and also healthy. Yes, I think, is Leipzig actually in the county of Lausitz? Give me a moment to relocate Lausitz. No, I think Leipzig is slightly... I did find it a while ago. There, it's actually in the county to the west, Merseburg. There is the city of Leipzig. So, I mean, I think Lausitz is somewhere that you get local trains to from Leipzig, possibly even trams, because there's no, that's the Elbe, not the Elster. Anyway, we're not paying attention to the geography. We're explaining all of the entertaining problems we have. So there is another problem, which is that when if I do usurp Germany, what I had hoped was that this would cause it to fracture into its component duchies, which would then be liable to peaceful vassalisation by the Holy Roman Empire, because they would share a culture with the new Holy Roman Emperor, who would be German, and they'd be 2 levels below him in the vassal structure. But the current King of Germany is also King of Denmark. You can see here he has the Kingdom of Denmark, which means that what would actually happen is that all of his remaining lands here would become part of the Kingdom of Denmark. But the heir to the Kingdom of Germany is Prince Valdemar of Germany, and the heir to the Kingdom of Denmark is Prince Ludolf of Germany. So were King Matthias to die, those two would split, and the new King of Germany would not have a spare kingdom to fall back on, and thus would cease being liege of all of these various German dukes. So that's another reason why we would quite like the King of Germany, King Matthias of Germany, dead. And also, this is not so much in the direction of we would like the King of Germany dead, but in the direction of we would like this sorted out fairly soon. Italy has controlled the Duchy of Franconia for quite some time, and we actually only have 28 years before Franconia becomes de jure part of Italy. At which point the amount of de jure Germany we control would drop, because Franconia would no longer be de jure Germany. In the alternative direction, the Duchy of Trier is currently de jure part of the Kingdom of Lotharingia, but in a mere 8 years, that's 1 year before our truce expires, will be incorporated into the Kingdom of Germany. At which point the total number of provinces of Germany of which we need 51%, will go up, and it will thus be slightly harder. I mean, I think Trier is actually only 2 counties, so the number we need will go up by. So Trier de jure, de jure Trier is 3 counties, so we would need an extra 2, so we need a total of 3. Which admittedly Lower Lorraine I think Upper Lorraine would give us. And we have a claim on Upper Lorraine, we just need it to be inherited by someone whom we can. I think it is an inheritable claim. We just need it to be inherited by someone useful, and I hope that it doesn't weaken in the process. Don't think it does. So yeah, I'm kind of inclined to try to assassinate the King of Germany. I mean, it might get me a known murderer penalty, but that's not as bad as a truce breaker penalty, entertainingly.
Yeah, it's true. And
also, I've discovered known murderer penalties apparently don't stack. So once you've got one, it's time to go all out with the murders.
Also, yeah, it's this is probably a reasonable time to do it because,
I no longer actually.
You do it. You get the murder. You form the empire.
I can't form the empire. I'm Italian. That does have to fall to my heir.
That does have to.
But so far, and this is one of those I don't entirely understand elective gavelkind situations. Both of my kingdoms are currently going to my elected heir. So my hope is that a third kingdom would also go to my elected heir. Because surely if gavelkind were going to split anything, it would split off the 2 I currently control. So I think it's safe for Gregory to form Germany. He just can't form the HRE, but he can pass on all 3 kingdoms to his heir. So yes, so I think it's probably time to do that. Oh yes, I did have some other things to do. I mean, King Matthias of Germany already has a -100 opinion of me because I control so much of de jure Germany. Wants control of the Duchy of Franconia, wants control of the Duchy of Thurgau, wants control of the Duchy of Saxony, wants control of the Duchy of Angria, wants control of the Duchy of Bavaria, and wants control of the Duchy of Carinthia. Which entertainingly is no longer de jure part of the Kingdom of Carinthia, which I hold. Oh yes, I was going to investigate the marital status of young members of my dynasty, wasn't I? Because I think that probably wants tidying up a bit. No, that's not the right button. So let us sort the members of my dynasty by age. And see in particular I assume that the adult ones are largely sensibly married, or at least married. Tisania's not, but she's also not a proper Dispoleto. Marco is similarly not a proper Dispoleto. Edda is married. Good. She is currently heir to the Kingdom of Italy and the Kingdom of Carinthia, which is convenient. And thus will probably be the heir to the Kingdom of Germany. I mean, she's not ideal, but she is German. Adelheid is married. Hupold Dispoleto is not married. Well, that's unfortunate. He's not a close relative of mine, though. Manfredo is not married. I mean, they are only 16, so. . Dorothea is not betrothed and she's 15. Right, let's find someone, anyone for Hoopold to marry. Preferably a genius, but I bet we can't find him a genius. Well, there's Daniela. She is 41.
You might be able to have a child with her before she
Yeah. Would I prefer to give Daniela to Hoopold or to Manfredo? I think I like Hoopold more. Someone should... Oops, that was the wrong button. Someone should obviously marry Daniela. I mean, I tried to have an affair with her, but it didn't seem to go very well. I mean, she's already been married to one Di Spoleto. Doesn't the church have rules about that?
Usually you can't necessarily marry someone else's brother, but cousins are fine, I think.
So her previous one was Jan Leone, my cousin, and Hoopold is merely my kinsman. So obviously he isn't my cousin, and therefore he obviously isn't Jan Leone's brother. Right. Yeah, let's marry them. That was quick. So Manfredo. Oh, Manfredo is close enough to me that I could get a non-aggression pact with a random count and a genius 8-year-old. Should just check if I've got any male geniuses who want marrying off. Oh, there's Liutbrand, who's 15, and he's only my kinsman though. But I don't care about that non-aggression pact with the count. But he's not currently in my court. So I can only marry him off by inviting someone to my court and asking them to marry him. So if we track down our convenient... And she's a child, so we could only get her by getting her parent, and her parent is landed, which is why we would get a non-aggression pact. Okay, well let's see who else we've got first. Any other reasonably aged boys? Surely I found Jacob a wife, yes. Archibaldo I haven't. He's 11, not genius. Yeah, doesn't look like he's going to turn out any better than Manfredo. Let us arrange for Manfredo to marry that convenient genius girl. He'd prefer a matrilineal marriage, but he likes me. Lots. Right. So that's Manfredo dealt with. Dorothea is genius and 15. And in Svendborg in Finn, which is why she has somehow ended up unbetrothed at the age of 15. I can't directly arrange to get someone to marry her. Let's sort out the people in my court first, because they're more embarrassing. But I suspect I've dealt with all of them now. No, she's not in my court. Hang on, no, we've got a rings icon for her. Elisabetta Di Spoleto is currently in my court. The only person we can get her a matrilineal marriage with, though, is old Dolcibile. The only genius we can get her a matrilineal marriage with is Dolcibile, who is 71. I'm not sure he'll survive long enough to marry her. So let's accept that we may have to lower our sights from genius. Come on, show me all the people. Cure. Goodness, we have to lower our sights a lot. Okay. Let's just look for someone who looks entertaining. I mean, we really want someone just a bit older than her and kind of useful. We've got Mario di Capua. Who's a good age. Yeah, go on. Right, and then we're down into ones reasonably young. Or not in my court. So now can we... Archibaldo's in my court. Unfortunately, the only option, only genius who will marry him is his distant cousin Dorothea. Probably better to try to breed in some... Find a quick girl then. Ooh, quick and shrewd. I mean, I don't know that it's much good in other respects, but see if I can get any nice high. Where's that? Cappadocia. That might be quite a useful. She might be quite a useful non-aggression pact as well. Maybe. Princess Enrique is 9. Can't find anyone very good for her. Let's save her for now, I think. Or I suppose look for... There aren't that many people I can get a lineal marriage with at all, according to this. But of course, anyone I can persuade to invite to my court, I can then force to marry. But I think I've already checked that there aren't very many candidates in that sort of direction. Or I've already done that. Well, we've sorted out a few marriages anyway. Right, let's get back to this King of Germany issue. So, one slight problem is my plot power is going to be fairly feeble. At least without some efficient bribery, because the King of Germany is fairly popular. Ooh, Queen of Germany on the other hand could give me 14% plot power. cheap bribery and corruption at that, because she's technically unlanded. Well, I can do it by hand, but yeah. And I can also send my spy master. Oh, once he's released, because I just had to get a new spy master, we can send him up there. I saw a suggestion that putting yourself in the correct place by leading an army there also allows you to increase your plot power, or at least allows you to, like, actually mount attempts. So I could raise the levy. Yes, either raise a convenient small levy or raise my my thing that I can get from the Apostolic Palace, retinue from the Apostolic Palace. It might be cheaper in running costs.
Yeah. Check that though.
I can, yes, if I raise a levy I can see what its running cost is, can't I? I think. Then I can go here, and so that's 4.49 per month, and the Apostolic Palace retinue is only 1 a month, I think, but costs 100 to raise. So that's equivalent to 30 months worth. So the break-even point is somewhere around 30 months. We've got quite a low plot power, so I might need 30 months. No, let's just use an ordinary levy. It's less confusing. Oh, it does stop me going to war, of course. But we'll be right next to my territory. I can dismiss them if I need to.
Just make sure there's an organizer in charge so we can look back over.
Well, there can be once they've arrived. While they're on their way. Once we get there, I'll be in charge of. Off you go to Meissen. It will all be fine. Right. Now time to pass. We have a new Duke of Friuli, apparently, who is also Duke of Milan. My attempts at splitting up my vassals are not always successful. Everyone's leaving the defensive pact, and they will join it shortly afterwards. Right. My liege, my mission to Salerno has so far been a success. During my visit to the court of Duchess Gala, the ill ruler, I seem to have managed to make her understand what a benevolent and peaceful ruler you really are, and she sends her regards. And now has an opinion of 88, which is more than enough. I mean, 100 would obviously get us more stuff. But, like, she's already... Oh, right, no, she is at 100. That was 88 was before that upgrade. So we should probably send our... Chancellor to Tuscany. Yes. So push him up another notch. Germany is at war again. German Holy War for Westergautland. I am slightly disappointed by how little plot power we get out of the Queen of Germany. Like, you're married to the person we're trying to murder.
Yeah, but maybe she's not very intriguing.
Yes. Okay, let me just check what our vassals feel about feasts. They still have another year of having enjoyed the last feast, so it's not much point holding a new one. Ah! King Gregory has dropped dead. Died of severe stress.
Well, the good news is, do you still have a truce with Germany?
Shouldn't do. Edda shouldn't have truces are personal, so Edda won't have a truce with Germany.
And is she German?
Yes.
Right, well, let's go for plan
She is
B.
17 years old and has just inherited the kingdom of Italy and kingdoms of Italy and Carinthia.
Right, well, let's start saving up for Project Invasion. And for whatever it is you need to do to get over to get the Empire.
So yes, King Gregory II has given up the ghost at age 49. He died of severe stress. Known to be a respected scholar, Gregory spent most of his days studying in his library, his grand library, rarely leaving his palace. Queen Edda, an accomplished diplomat. Vassals and foreign rulers alike are sure to respect her. Long live Queen Edda. Queen Edda is not a genius, though I believe she's married to one. No, her husband isn't a genius either. Her husband is Sergios Argyros, of Greece, who is Greek. Queen Edda has 7 points of martial score and should not be allowed to lead armies. The army that is currently on its way to Meissen, well, I mean, we would still quite like Matthias to die, so that when we usurp Germany, Denmark doesn't immediately take over all its territory. Several children were being tutored by King Gregory, who will now need new tutors. She has inherited the Apostolic Library and the Apostolic Palace. She has not inherited his claim on Sardinia and Corsica. She is, however, Queen of Italy and of Carinthia. She has lost all the members of her council, so we will just assume that the previous council was tolerable and put them all back. Right. So let us confirm that The decision formed the... She should hold a feast, though. Because I think those opinions are also personal, and thus... So, yes, the decision to form the Holy Roman Empire is back on the menu. We are currently lacking prestige greater than or equal to 1,000. Is King of Germany. Rather curiously, we require is King of Germany and is Queen of Italy. Achieving both of those simultaneously might be slightly fiddly.
It might update when you actually achieve it.
Yes, I assume that it's gone... It takes the current gender of the current holder of the title, I suspect. And Matthias is King of Germany, and so obviously we want to become King of Germany. And Edda is Queen of Italy, and thus wants to be Queen of Italy.
And we also need some more.
Oh yes, and we also need 528 gold.
But I mean, the thing here is the prestige you can probably get by getting yourself a wonderful territory.
I mean, she'll be getting prestige at a fairly terrifying rate now. I mean, she's not a genius, which doesn't help, but like 8 a month, so 24 per year. Yeah, okay, it's going to take a while to get 1,000 out of that, isn't it? We're going to have to do some things better, like, for instance, holding a feast. Yes, usurping a kingdom will, I think, get prestige. So, Edda probably thus has several casus belli versus the King of Germany. I mean, ideally, the current the inheritances have wobbled. So have they? Oh no, it's just his dynastic heir is that one. Yes, okay. Yeah, the things have not wobbled. So, like, ideally, we would have our claimant on Upper Lorraine die. Because her successor is actually like they're presumably both weak claims though, yeah. So I think, yes, Berchtesgaden Châtenois has a strong inheritable claim on Upper Lorraine. Her eldest son is Duke Ecklenfried III of Saxony. So if he were to inherit her claim on the Duchy of Upper Lorraine, then suddenly we would have... Actually... If he doesn't inherit her claim, he'll inherit the duchy if we get it to her, won't he? It's agnatic, cognatic, gavelkind. Oh no, it will go to Gerlach von Braunschweig, her second son. Because being gavelkind, it'll skip the one who already has a duchy.
Yes.
Though Ecklenfried will then have a claim on it.
That's true.
As second or third in line,
Yes.
And then we could thus invade Gerlach for it. Really, we want Berchtesgaden to drop dead.
Not murder.
I could, but it seems kind of rude to murder someone just in order that someone I like better gets their claim on a random German duchy.
Probably best to do your murders.
Well, I'm trying to kill the King of Germany for one thing. I still want him dead so that the Kingdom of Denmark will pass to someone else. Though I'm now wondering if I can just find a claimant on the Kingdom of Denmark, press that claim. No,
No, you can't.
well, I just want to get the kingdom out of his hands. But yes, I should probably use my one war in the next 10 years to get territory off him rather than... I would like to get all those duchies independent so that I can consolidate the territory.
Yeah, but I think that's trying to hyper-optimise. And you're slightly better going for the slightly less subtle but also slightly much less brittle approach.
I think I should dismiss that army anyway. Because I think we're not now planning to murder. If we're not going to murder the King of Germany because we don't need to, at least not until after we've gone to war with him. In particular, if we're going to murder the King of Germany, we want him to die after the next war, not before it.
So you should go to war with the King of Germany now.
So let's dismiss the troops that we were planning to lead into Meissen in order to make the murdering more efficient.
Yes. You don't have a plot to kill.
I think we should have a feast first, because that's +5 to all of our vassal opinions.
Yeah, which will boost your troops and also will help you consolidate the fact that you're anything. Make sure you pick an ambition and so on.
Yes. So I think martial and intrigue improvements for 100 prestige each, if we can get 1 point more, will probably be good plans, because it's not like there's a shortage of children and those are piety, and obviously getting 100 prestige when you have 1,000 prestige is not a lot of use. So yes, I think we'll pick improve martial ability. Right, so let us hold a feast. So Princess Adela, Princess Henrique and Princess Brynhilda excuse me, all need new tutors. Queen Edda is not the best tutor. Indeed. So we should find... Let's start with the Dukes, because these might give us some opinion boosts. Where have Walpurga and Jakob got to, I wonder? Well, let us find a suitable person for... So, actually, let us first inspect Brynhilda. Brynhilda is already German. So... actually, we should look at other things, other facts as well. So, Brynhilda is non-genius, reasonably well off for diplomacy, but quite short on martial. So, the two things I really think people, a halfway useful ruler, should have. Well, let's send her to Ferdinand von Brandenburg then. Spread the kids around a bit. so they don't all get caught in the same siege. Right, now we get the opportunity of moving Valpurga. But those ones are actually currently being... Oh, no, they're currently being tutored by King Gregory the Silent. I don't think they're going to be tutored by King Gregory the Silent anymore. Right. They're both properly German already. And I think they're kind of both being groomed as heirs, and they're not really old enough to need giving to someone with four stars. I might want to keep... Do I have good enough stats to be tutoring them? 2787. But I do get to make decisions then. I think that's still worth keeping, actually. I'll keep them myself. No, wrong button. What have I done? Let's unpause briefly so that things can sort themselves out. Right, I've got Jakob. Let's also claim Valpurga for myself. And then the others probably. Let's try to send some up there because he keeps being grumpy with me. So Adela, for instance, who is 11 and needs both diplomacy and martial. And I think is already German, so... Actually, the Grand Mayor himself... Oh no, there's a danger she might become Italian if I do that. Well, yeah, we don't want that. Go for that for no very good reason. Anyone that we can send to him. I mean, Petronilha obviously wants to be tutored, but like, there's Henrique and. Haven't I sorted them out? Let's unpause because I'm getting confused. We'll let the requests we've made already come to fruition. Oh, except we should decide who is going to be Edda's heir.
But you can do the traditional of voting for who you like and then seeing whoever else.
Yes. I mean, the geniuses are still kind of are still not of age for the most part. And Benilde's Italian. Yeah, we want a German, don't we? Let's sort this by culture. And then find like a youngish, halfway competent German. So Hupold is not bad. Anna, I quite like the look of her. Candida is sadly Italian. Okay, let's go for Anna. and see how that goes. Yes, well, until some other people start voting. Yes, you must perform at my feast. So must you. I need all the prestige I can get. Send out the invitations. Benilde has come to the fore, sadly. Several people are refusing to come to the feast. Which is a pity. Ooh, Hoopold has now become popular. Well, he was my second choice. Back to Benilde again. Back to Hoopold again. The votes are still coming in. Benilde. Welcome to my feast. Please vote for someone, anyone. Right, which children still need guardians? Someone's plotting to murder my husband. I will stop them. Princess Henrique still needs a guardian, right. She is thoroughly uninteresting. So, probably a good thing. She's not even a close relative, so... I already have 2 people to tutor, don't I? Yes. That's an impressive collection of traits, but not actually a useful collection. Send her to the Prince Bishop of Minden, sorry. Count Stefan cut the throat of one of my servants when the clumsy man spilled wine all over him. Well, I am very much in favour of the just trait, so yes, we'll take that. Right, that's vassal opinion plus 5, and 10 prestige, and every attendee of the thing of the feast opinion plus 5, which was most of my vassals. Prince Sergios, my king, my husband, is apparently the subject of a plot. I possibly should actually have left that thing open to find the person responsible. Oh well, let's do it the slow way. It's a new plot, so maybe it'll be at the bottom of the list. No. Let's sort by target then. Well, is that really sorting by target? So, some random person is plotting to kill Sergios. I can ask him to end the plot, but he will not. I can invite him to my court and then imprison him, though. Right, come to my court. Everything is fine. I'm definitely not planning to imprison you. I just want to help you kill my husband. Meanwhile, I should pick a successor and do something with my council. Right, so currently Benilda is winning slightly and Anna is only getting 2 votes. So I'm thinking I want to switch my vote to Hupold in the hope of pushing him over the line. Because I think Hupold will be acceptable. He is a German Di Spoleto. Right, so let us find uses for my council. My Chancellor should probably be back in Tuscany. My Marshal may as well be researching military technology at home. Let's just save the Spymaster for now. Is there anywhere that needs conversion? We do have a patch of Catharism. Let's send my court chaplain there. So do we go for a single county claim or do we go for a slightly more complicated thing? Dietwin Hupolinger has a claim on the Duchy of Mecklenburg, which is not de jure in Germany. Okay, that's not interesting. Duchy of Baden is currently de jure in Germany. Wolfhilde Welfs has a daughter. That's not very helpful. Have a look at who the current. Are there any obviously soft, as in amenable to weak claims, dukes kicking around in Germany? Or rather, duchesses probably. Doesn't look like it. So I think we'll have to do this by... So Upper Lorraine has 4 counties. It doesn't yet get me 4 counties though. If I murder my claimant it would, or if I push it at the moment it ends up independent. And then, of course, no, none of the claimants is one of my landed vassals, sadly. She would come to my court. She's presumably much easier to murder if she's in my court. I presume inherited by successor means... No, actually, we should. Yeah, we should. people who are second or on succession, strong claims are only but given to children who are second in or third in line of succession. If she obtains a duchy, he will be first in line, and I think he will be second in line. So he will then have a strong claim on her duchy, at which point I can just press the claim against her. Not against her, against her son. So then we just have to wait out Beshta dying. Which, we need that. Oh no, we don't need that to happen very quickly, because we don't then care about Trier, because we'll have so much of de jure Germany that we only actually have to get it done before Franconia, which will not be a serious problem. Right, so I think we should press Bechta's claim on Bechta, indeed she is actually German despite that surname, on Upper Lorraine, even though she is not our landed vassal. I think it's still more efficient if she's dead. Let's invite her to my court and set about trying to kill her. And I really don't want her to die during the war, do I? Because then, even though the new claimant will also be my vassal, the war will end.
The war will end because the claim will be different. Yes. So either you murder then war, or war then murder, but do not try and run these in parallel.
And war, it actually has to be war then murder then war, because I then have to take it off her second son, unless of course her second son has mysteriously been murdered already, or unless I've granted her second son a duchy. But I've only got one duchy in my pocket and 2 counties, and I don't really want to lose any of those. So it's just those are both weak claims, aren't they? Yes. Let's get her into my court and see what the plot power looks like once we've done that. Right, Houpold has come to the fore as expected. Bechta has joined my court. Now I can get 152% plot power without trying.
Okay. Right. Snappy.
So my hope is that by successor means by her heir, and that her heir inherits her claim, even though she is unlanded, and thus kind of doesn't have a successor.
Yes, it seems it seems to work like that, but it's very hard to tell because you're always, of course, playing a landed character. But since you can inherit claims through unlanded women, it's fine.
So if we're going to do this, we should also have my spy master building a spy network in my court. I'm a commander short. I'm short of several people, in fact. Let's sort them out then. Do we have any halfway decent commanders kicking around? Yes, Gleb has somehow ended up. I mean, okay, he's down to 17 marshal, because he is infirm and ill. But despite being infirm and ill, he is still a pretty solid commander. We don't currently have a high almoner, so probably the Duchess of Franconia is a good candidate for that. Do I still have an outstanding invitation to court from the guy who's trying? Yes. He was trying to murder my husband. Yes, here he is. I do not feel that you should be trying to kill Prince Sergios. Sadly, you... And presumably, if I simply say, stop it, he will now not dare refuse. But on the other hand, I can get a brief piety boost by imprisoning him and then releasing him. Executing him for that would be considered tyrannical, wouldn't it? Yes. But that has terminated that plot. Everyone wants to help me kill Berchter. This is going to be a very messy murder. I've got about 17 co-conspirators. He hasn't joined the defensive pact against me, has he? No. Good.
What is your threat level anyway?
Terrifying. 46%.
What is that?
Because I took quite a lot of Germany. Don't think I really need to turn that plot power up any further.
Better save your money for the war and then the young king of the kingdom, the founding of an empire, and still king.
The small danger, of course, that Matthias of Germany will go and join the defensive pact against me. Who's this prisoner? Why have I got a prisoner? Well, let's ransom him for some money. Okay. Mark Vard, wasn't that the previous king of Germany? No, it's the current German King Bishop Mark Vard of France has joined the defensive pact against me. Right. Duchess Susanna, my co-conspirator, has sent word that a massive pit of manure has been prepared under the floorboards of an abandoned inn on a path Berchter will travel with her escort. Once they are seated at a table, kaboom! Presumably you're going to have to unabandon the inn a bit in order to tempt her in.
It's a very good question. I mean, it is a very traditional plot. As I know from all of those people, whether it's Craven or those few people who are canny enough to go in and go, hey, why does this inn smell like a privy, and get the hell out?
Tuscany is at war with one of its people. Success! Berchtesgaden perished in the manure explosion. There is no trace of my complicity to be found among the rubble. Berchtesgaden went out with a bang. So all being well now, Duke Eichenfried... Oh, no, he hasn't inherited it. Okay, who's inherited her claim on Upper Lorraine? No one. It was said to be inheritable. Can be inherited by successor, it says. None of her 3 sons has inherited it.
Well, go and see who's in the line of the succession for Lorraine and now see if they link. See if there's anyone else that will.
I mean, the problem is that the current Duke is like a sensible adult, so we would need someone with a strong claim on it, and or to push him out. Oh, hang on, Berchtesgaden still appears in the list. Maybe I need to unpause for a little while and let things settle down.
Yes, that might help as well.
I think possibly she wasn't actually dead when I checked that, merely in the process of exploding. Right. Right, Liutprand, Duke of Thurgau, now has... Both Liutprand and Eichenfried now have claims on it. Right. Though, only a weak claim. Okay, it got weakened in the inheritance. Which is, like, slightly helpful, but we're now going to have to put some effort into making a weak claim pressable. Just check that he isn't already. No. I mean, one way to accomplish that is to murder the current Duke. Because his heir is a child.
And he's still quite young, so right, well, time for medicine.
Much lower plot powers here, though. It's going to take a while to get him dead. Are you sure that's a good plan? Like, they're both Dispoletos, and he's 70 years old. She's 12. He probably won't live long enough. No. Let me see if I can find a better pairing for her. Let's see if I can find a genius I can invite to my court to pair off with Engeltruder. Okay, oh, that's still set to my dynasty, isn't it? Reset. Right. Go for the simple one first. A genius who will join my court. He's 47, which is at least better. Let's try... Oh, he might be married, of course. Let's make sure unmarried. Genius. In diplomatic range. Not ruler. male. Okay, it said Protostrator may be as good as it gets. He is kind of depressed. But he's still better than Jan Leone. Monet di Spoleto lacks a guardian. He is entirely traitless. He is a random distant kinsbod of mine, so we don't really care where he goes. We just want to find him someone half decent. Hello, thank you for joining me at my court. Who are you? That's the genius Amory Capet. Right, can I persuade you to change religion? No, because you don't much like me. Can I give you some money? Yes. Well, I think you need to be Catholic for this to work sensibly. Right.
Just below the builder.
You are now Catholic, so now I can probably suggest that you get betrothed to Engeltraud. Oh, except you've gone and betrothed her to Liutbrand di Spoleto, you nuisance. Well, let's find another di Spoleto to betroth this guy to. After all that effort I went to find you a good husband. Well, tolerable husband. You got anyone lying around here with high intrigue we could dispatch to help with the murdering? No, not my own spy master, that would be foolish. Emery Capet is busy. I mean, yeah, I'd like to keep my designated regent, he's quite nice. Not really, I'd probably need to invite someone, feed them money and then send them out again.
Yes, I'll put this bottle through the door.
What we have, yes. So killing Thietmar is going to be tricky. And we do have this claim on Mecklenburg. What's it like? For Dietwin Hupoldinger is a non-inheritable claim, so we would have to grant him some land. But he has no children. He does have a sister who is also childless. Maybe we could safely grant him a barony and expect to inherit it back again. I think that's safe. Let us grant him the barony of Potswoli, because I don't think that weak claim on Upper Lorraine is going to come to anything. Alright, he has managed to find an heir, Emmerich von Pommern. So maybe we won't get that barony back. Oh well, I don't really mind. Yeah, I mean, even if we get a bit of extra plot power, if we can't even reach 100%, this is going to take, that approach is going to take forever. So I might want to have a quick look at whether there's any obvious opinion penalties I'm taking that I shouldn't. It doesn't look like it. So I could reasonably down to counts there. Reasonably declare war on Germany. We are going for Mecklenburg, I hope. Is he currently at war with anyone? No. We could usefully set plotting to murder him, couldn't we? Because his death won't break the war, because it's a claim war.
Yes.
On it's essentially an action in rem. And we would like him dead.
We have to concede defeat and start taking pills. Turns out I'm just a bit smooth.
We have a new Duke of Franconia. He's not a great fan of me. In particular, he didn't go to the feast. Also, I'm down a high almoner again, because it was the previous Duchess of Franconia whom I appointed to that role. Well, let's appoint the new Duke to the role then. Ooh, my husband Sergios actually would make an excellent commander. Right. So, yes. We now have a landed claimant on Holstein, which we will not pursue, because we would much prefer a claim on... Oh, hang on, Mecklenburg isn't useful either. Mecklenburg is in Pomerania, Stokeface. We knew that. Well, let's go for a county. We only need one county. let's just go for our de jure claim on Frankfurt. Right, so we're probably going to just want everyone raised. We've got enough that we don't need to spend money on. Actually, what's the... It needs 483 gold. We can afford thus to spend 100 gold on raising the honour guard. As is traditional, dismiss that army. Mass that lot somewhere defensible in my territory. Dismiss that one as well. So let me investigate what's going on here, because looks like there are going to be battles aplenty. Possibly I want to dismiss this lot. So those guys are heading into Bamberg. Those guys are not heading into Bamberg, they're going to Pulsen. So if I stay put in Bamberg and sort out some really good commanders here, we may well be able to win that battle. Because we'll have a defensive bonus from the forest. Matthias will have a river crossing penalty, and all being well, he isn't being quite as clever about where his commanders are going. Both of us have truly terrible... Oh no, he's got... That's his domain levy. We cannot possibly allow him to catch us then, because he's got lots of morale and we really haven't. Right, in that case we are sticking an organiser in there. We haven't got an organiser. Okay, in that case we're dismissing that army and going in search of an organiser. Why when I asked to sort by... Oh right, because that was upside down. But we'll take you. And I'd like to have 2 organisers in my pocket, so we'll take you as well. Let's try to... Oh, actually... let's see if we can have that lot kind of intercept this army. We'll have that lot intercept them as well. I think if we're going to do that, we want this lot to... I wonder where he's going. Do you think he's heading for Braunschweig itself? Let's hold that lot in Braunschweig and head that lot to Braunschweig as well, in the hope that this lot, that we can see what to do with that lot. And pause for a bit and see what's going on. Right, we're going to need to fire some existing commanders to make space. So our worst current... Oh yes, and we should take our marshal off that so he can start leading troops. So can any of my councillors lead armies? If I want them to. Experiment with that in a moment. So that means that Nuno probably wants to be kicked out because he's a holy warrior, which is not particularly useful, and only 17 martial skill. Whereas Neophytos has 20 martial skill and is an organiser. Where are these guys going then? They're still heading to Verdun. I'm locked into a move to Minden. Right, and we similarly have Guthfrid, who is 17 martial and a trickster, whom we could usefully replace with Garci, who is 19 martial and an organiser. Right, I now have 2 organisers as commanders. So let's accelerate this army a bit. Also we'll accelerate this one so that it stands some chance of catching up with that one ahead of it. Dispose of all messages about people's family turning up. That lot have settled down to besiege in there, at least briefly. So I think that we should get these 2 together and then march in there and squish them. For a nice quick win. Seems to be a lost German army here, so possibly we should try to intercept them as well. Let's see what happens down there.
Someone should leave a report in IRC on whether Ben managed to become Holy Roman Empress.
Right, so we have problem here that the German army has turned northwards to meet me in Passau, and we will simply not have enough men there. Can't disband that unit. We can disband those two, so we would lose 58 men and save those 104, and then we can bring in these 930 as reinforcements. That seems like a good plan. Meanwhile, up here, all looks fairly safe for now. Let's merge those into a single army, get them some halfway decent commanders and stomp them in there before Matthias can get away. That lot are heading to Lüneburg. They should be fine. Though he's now bringing in reinforcements from down there as well, so this will depend a little on that battle being quick. Those guys are going to Bremen for reasons best known to themselves. Right, that battle is not going to be a problem. That one we are, as expected, about to lose. Pile that lot in there and quickly get ourselves a tiny win. Where are the German army here going? They're going to Cham, which is conveniently plains. Let us meet them there. We'll have a river crossing penalty, but not much else. Put in some halfway competent commanders, because they're no longer needed up north. Well, I mean, I say that. In fact, if we can keep breaking things up here, that will probably be good too. Alright, my marshal, of course, was an organiser, so I've got 3 organisers now by accident. I don't want to take anyone out of Regensburg. So that lot is now well equipped. Can they get to there fast enough? No, they can get to there though. And should be more than in a position to win that, unless that lot, of course, that lot are also going to Bremen. I mean, their morale is weak, but I'm not sure it's that weak. Can I get that lot first? I can. I mean, I've got the river crossing penalty, but I've got a distinct morale advantage and some good commanders. Let's try that and see if we get away with it. Walpurga asks, why did you let that peasant accused of poaching? So she might become kind, or she might become just, Or she might become kind, or she might become arbitrary. Just is an excellent property in a ruler, but sadly she became kind. Right, how is this thing going? Yes, we've got that battle about to form there. I think I can now fairly soon safely raise the Franconian army again. Maybe send it over there. Unsurprisingly, we won that battle. So I think that army wants to merge in with this one, which is going to be best dealt with by having them head that way. Not good numerically, but I hope the commanders will win that for us. Yes, just about. Oops. That was a mistake. Can we get those lot out fast enough? Yes, excellent. We don't really want that 951 being run into by those 1800. The Battle of Regensdorf turned out to be quite significant. I wasn't even paying any attention to it. I just accidentally left us unpaused for a little while. Right, let's work out what's going on now then. We would still like to merge these two. We can at least merge those two. I mean, I feel that where we can get quick wins, it's worth doing so. But I think actually let's go for the quick and decisive win that way first, and then once this lot arrive, we can go for some slightly trickier wins. Meanwhile, down here we've got some decent sized armies coming together. So they're massing their forces down in Cham. Let's wait for this lot to Actually, no. Let's move my forces eastwards a bit so that we are ready for them. But stay in the mountains for defensibility. Right, we have won the Battle of Tecklenburg. So that lot will not catch that army quickly, but if we can get them merged, then they might be able to gain on it, given some time. Okay, who's... That says that is that lot fleeing will end up in Braunschweig? Surely not, they're too far away. But that lot, are some of them heading to Braunschweig? They are. 1,500 are heading to Braunschweig, but we'll get the defensive bonus, plus that lot will be there. Let's make sure we've got some good people in here, though. So we want to preserve anyone who's currently in Osnabrück. No one else is in imminent danger of getting into a fight. So anyone who's not in Osnabrück is entitled to join this army. Curiously, those 1,500 troops are no longer going to Braunschweig, which is fine. So I think we're going to merge those two armies in Braunschweig. Right, so that lot are still coming together. Right. And then I think we start chasing down the German armies up here. This is all going all right. That lot is still coming together. Right, the Apostolic Library now has a scribe room. Yeah, go on. So now Germany is trying to pour troops into this battle. We hope that we can hold them. We've already raised those, haven't we? Yes. in particular, that we can slaughter enough of them that the reinforcements aren't enough. Preferably that we can thus do a long run of killing the reinforcements as they arrive. Tricky, but we did it. Right, what's going on down here meanwhile? That army must surely be pretty much together, yes. That one's for some reason in completely the wrong place. So I think we want to hold this lot here a little bit so that we can have all of them pile into Cham simultaneously, if possible. The only slight danger is if he starts heading for the hills, we may find it slightly harder to take him. But I don't really want to start that battle with him without this lot being there. Right, so the Battle of Jena has gone fairly well. That lot, I think we want to march towards Cham. That lot can now be merged. So the main leaders here are Symmachos, Jaromir and Sergios. So let's appoint people who are not those. One of whom is a organiser to head in from the south. Let's not quite point them at Cham yet. We'll check the timings as we get closer in. Also, yes, we have those extra 400 troops turning up. Let's make sure they're trying to get to Regensburg. Okay, since we have some time to spare, let's get these ones not have... No! Okay, I want to send them straight across the river to Eichstätt, but I can't because if I ask them to go to Eichstätt, they decide to go via Cham. No, the point of going to Eichstätt is so that you don't have that river crossing penalty. Let's send you via Passau instead then. Right, now it is time to get everyone together because that lot are moving and we need to catch them before they slaughter my army in... They're in Regensburg, aren't they? Nuremberg, sorry. This is all plains, well, except for Passau, which is forest, so we don't really care where the battle happens. Battle of Elvangen has finished. We are now, pause, heading into the enormous Battle of Schwandorf. You guys should also join the Battle of Schwandorf if you can. The Pope Urbanus II has died in the and been succeeded by Pope Celestinus II. Also, people are leaving the defensive pact against me. That's nice. Right, victory in the Battle of Schwandorf. My troops should probably decide what they're doing, because they're currently a bit confused. I mean, obviously the sensible thing now is to march on Frankfurt and actually besiege the place. Given how much we've shattered the German army, actually, I think leaving that army here in Cham to get control over it back and sending that army to Frankfurt is actually not an entirely silly plan. Maybe we want to leave a bit more behind. Oh dear. Actually, yes, let's leave slightly more behind. Let's leave another 2,000 troops behind. Kind of inconvenient that these don't show total numbers anywhere sensible. Yeah, that's about right. So, given that that lot are besieging, they have a siege leader. This lot are currently besieging, so they may as well have a siege leader as well. Which siege leader of this lot got? That lot have got Symmachus. That appears to be the only siege leader available. How have I ended up with only one siege leader available? Is that because someone's movement locked? No, I do actually not have a second siege leader. Right. More awkwardly, none of the siege leaders I can find want to join my court. None of them. Well, that's unhelpful. Okay, then I'm stuck with only having one siege leader. Well, let's get that lot together then. Since we've got Cham back already. Probably send them up to Meissen to besiege the German capital. Meanwhile, send our siege leader over here. So that one will finish faster. Make sure this one has 3 commanders. I'm a bit worried that this army might be big enough to cause me trouble. We are in forest though, so we have a small bonus from that. And we do seem to have better commanders. Holy Man came to court today to talk about matters of faith, but it soon became clear he held rather unorthodox views. Being a zealous defender of the church at all times, zealous, I believe I did the right thing when I gave the order to imprison a blasphemous pagan who dared criticise my faith and my church. Deus Volt. I was still shaking with rage at the pagan's blasphemous words when Dan took the opportunity to whisper, "Good work," in my ear. Don't know why I care about his opinion of me, but he approves of my zealousness. I mean, he's Anna's husband, apparently. Okay. Right, they are coming to attack me. I think I just hang on and hope it goes all right. We've got Sergios, who is a defender. We could stick his. I think we probably want to keep Hrudoslav rather than Neophytos. So, there's a small danger we're going to lose this battle. My hope is that the benefit we get from being in forest will be enough. Do we switch from Hrudoslav to unyielding? That feels like a better approach. Looking good so far. Right, we have taken the castle of Frankfurt. No, sorry, the bishopric of Frankfurt. So that's nice. I think we're probably going to win this one, but it is going to be a bit dicey. Yes, I noticed we've been attacked in Meissen. Bishop Echenfried of Herhut was captured in battle and is now my prisoner. Right, we can probably ransom him. Because I bet he's not a close enough relative to be of any use. No. Where is King Echenfried anyway? King Matthias, sorry. He is currently in Dresden. So while we're sitting around there, what happens if I put myself in charge of one of the flanks of this besieging army? Will that increase my plot power noticeably? Don't think it did. Even though I am now in the same place as Matthias, kind of. Oh, well, let's put someone actually worthwhile back in there then, to be on the safe side. Oh, do we have children we need to be careful about? Looks like things are happening while I'm not paying attention. Pause. I have no idea what's going on there. Yes, let's just let it happen. So Philibert di Spoleto is of no interest at all. Well, if we can't find him a genius, let's get him someone attractive. Actually, was Houpold a good person? Should we maybe actually left him with Houpold? Yeah, go on. Right. Yes, Valpurga is 15. That means I'm a bad person to be educating her. I think we want to get her a martial education trait so as to bump her martial up a bit more. So I think her education should be finished off by someone with brilliant strategist. Let's go for Hrudoslav. Okay, my other ward is... That means I need a new child to teach, of course. they're all currently spoken for. I should have grabbed Philibert for myself. Oh well, when the next one becomes 6 years old, I'll take them. So yes, it looks like I can't assign, even though my spy master has a allow or disallow leading armies. It looks like I can't actually ask him to lead armies, so we'll set him back to doing something more useful. So, looking for co-conspirators to murder the King of Germany. Isentruder can doubtless be persuaded and is a courtier, so she'll be fairly cheap. Ethelhilda similarly. Right, Ethelhild similarly. Now, other bribable one is Siegfried, but I think his bribe is going to be too steep. It's not that steep. I think these may have been marriages proposed at times when I wasn't actually directly involved. Right, successfully besieged the capital of Germany, which is Dresden, but not going to give up yet. And with taking Wiesbaden, we have 100% war score, so and I think it's time we held a feast again, because I bet we've run down our having held a feast recently bonuses. Yes, we have. So we have the option of usurping the Kingdom of Germany. I would quite like to save that until we've murdered the current king or he has otherwise died. Your vassal, Duchess Constanza, has expressed dissatisfaction with your choice of advisors. She claims she is more qualified than the majority of your council. Really? Really? No, you're not. Not even slightly. Sorry, I don't greatly wish to upset the Duchess of Crine, but none of those numbers says that you should become my marshal, because my current marshal has a marshal score of 22, and you, Constanza, have a marshal score of 9. Problem is I can raise troops up here to fight these, but A, they aren't enough, and B, they'll start up with terrible morale. Goodness, I'm down a commander again. Oh, Guthfrith can come back then. Do we prefer Nuno? Let's go for Guthfrith for now. No one's coming to my feast this year. How sad. So, Elisabetta has become a skilled tactician, which is nice. She is betrothed to Mario di Capua. She is married to Mario di Capua. Excellent. Duke Martin of Tuscany likes me a bit better. Still worth getting another pip out of him, though. Presumably she had an interesting upbringing with that scar. My court is very crowded. With a small monetary encouragement, some of the less influential courtiers could be encouraged to leave. I don't think that's strictly necessary. Might it not be better to, like, evict them, or indeed banish them and steal all their money? So, like, I need to work out which ones I don't want. It would be better for me to work out which ones I don't want. Find people who don't like me. I mean, everyone kind of likes me. Oh, hang on, their opinions of me are there. Okay, who are you, and can I get rid of you? Sadly, neither of them has any money. Alright, so if I do that, I lose prestige. Whereas the decision loses gold. Okay, yes. Well, but but I don't want to do that because I don't know which courtiers it will expel. Well, that was not the most productive of feasts, but it was kind of useful. Who have I got who's high intrigue and not of a lot of use to me? It doesn't look like I can conveniently propose any marriages there to get people into his court. Possibly because he's seriously pissed off at me for having beaten him in war again, and for holding a large amount of territory that he would quite like, which is going to make murdering him a bit tricky. I mean, he's old, I'm still young, but the problem is that if he doesn't die soon, Trier will fall into the fall de jure into Germany, and then we'll have to gain yet more territory. And I'm not sure I have the patience for that. She's turned out all right then. So, what else do we need for Holy Roman Empire? Mostly need 1,000 prestige. We're well on our way to getting now. Especially if we can find a way to gain 1 marshal point. We have a new Grand Mayor of Pomerania. That's nice. He's depressed. So one thing that might eventually get us a marshal point is building something, a wing on a collection in our library that would get us a that might get us a book about military stuff. But that's kind of slow and very expensive. I don't think we have the money to do expensive things right now. So running our court is actually costing us money. Maybe we should try this Arts Courtiers to Leave button. Alright, so I can then decide whether I want these 4 to leave. I don't think any of those are of great importance to me. Off you go. I hope that will reduce my court expenses a bit. I opened the stable door a bit quick and accidentally stumbled in on Jakob getting his first kiss. I suddenly realised Jakob is becoming a man. So, before anything happens, I should teach him about courtly love, which gives him a good chance of becoming chaste. Or I can lecture him about virtues and sins. So, Jakob is one that I'm kind of grooming as a potential heir. So courtly love approach makes him likely to become chaste. Likely to become chaste, but some chance of becoming lustful. Neither of which really, matter. Or I can lecture him, which gives us a choice of chaste, deceitful, zealous, or paranoid. And like zealous can be alright. Don't really want the others. So I think we'll go for the courtly love approach. He has become chaste. So mostly I want my plot to succeed. Little Binhilda needs a tutor. Well, maybe it should be me. He has political concerns that mean he doesn't want to join our plot, which is a pity given his phenomenal plot power. So I am wondering if some might be persuadable with a bit of extra alcohol. Really like someone who's over 15% power. But like this guy has a currently has an opinion of us of 25. If we send him a gift, that will increase by 58, and we could actually increase it by 68 by sending him booze. Wondering if we have any drunkards in here. Doesn't look like it. So let's see. That's quite a lot of difference. And I mean that guy with 14% is a pretty high number. So let's see if probably have rather a lot of income though, yeah. He should also be fairly cheap. There's more difference there. So let us try using our annual alcohol gift. To give Mayor Heinrich an extra 10. And see if that puts him high enough. Yes. Now with a monetary gift, he will join our plot. Takes us infuriatingly close. Yeah, whatever. Infuriatingly close to 100% plot power. Yes! Valpurga di Spoleto. Brilliant strategist, genius. 2022, 15, 10, 13. Zealous, sadly not just. But yeah, can we vote for her as our successor now? Wow, that's expensive. Yes, try murdering King Matthias. Peasants have revolted in Livinen. Right, Princess Valpurga is now my heir. Excellent. We have a new Duchess of Croatia. Let's fill in that slot. Suppressing these revolts tends to cheer up our vassals. Might be enough with a decent amount of excellent commanders on their side. It looks like Ivrea may be going to deal with the problem anyway. Success! King Matthias of Germany died of the poisoned wine. Unfortunately, my complicity was discovered. Good, but bad. Well, not very bad. So, what's happened to Germany now? Has that actually turned out how I wanted? Or have they managed to change the inheritance rules while we got there, while that happened? Damn it! It didn't work. Ludolf inherited both kingdoms. And now my succession is falling apart. My vassal, Prince Alberic, has requested that a lower rank vassal, the Baron of Potswoli, should serve him rather than me directly. Well, the Baron of Potswoli is kind of accidentally there, really. I think you can have the Baron of Potswoli and we'll worry about what's going on there later. I think we now have the slight problem that people don't like me as much, and so my my influence on the succession is waning a little. I mean, to be fair, Liutbrand would be all right. So while I'd prefer Valpurga, we'll take Liutbrand. So, what are we doing here then? Because it looks like these are now actually... Oh, they've split again. So, I mean, we could attempt to kill Ludolf. And as you say, now we can murder everyone. He's probably worth the money. Oh, my army has got into that battle that it was that I was hoping would turn out all right if I was lucky. Sadly, they seem to be doing rather well. We may actually be defeated by these rowdy rebels. Yes, that's embarrassing. We've been defeated by a bunch of peasants. Right, well, we'll come back with a bigger army. It is the feast time of the year, but I think we may have held one last year. Yes, the feast doesn't expire until next year, so dismiss that. Duchess Susanna is now Basilista of the Byzantine Empire. Well, if we lose the Duchy of Croatia, I'm not going to be that unhappy. Like, our possession, we mostly got it because it was a good source of prestige at some point. On which subject? The way we got a bunch of prestige in the past. How much is it? 2,000 I need for the HRE. Oh, it's only 1,000. We're almost there. Not going to go in search of prestige then. But we should pay attention to whether those two are going in different directions. So currently that one is going to Count Gunzelin and that one is going to Prince Lyudov. So I think that is the answer we want. Right, meanwhile that army is now reassembled and we'll go and have another go at dealing with these rebels. Though, if we don't manage to kill the King of Germany soon. Mario di Capua and Elisabetta di Spoleto have had a son named Guerino. Here's a Di Spoleto because it was a matrilineal marriage. So maybe when I get to 1,000 prestige, actually, of course, usurpation is tricky in its own right, because that costs me 364 gold and gets me prestige. But I need to have 474 gold, so we need like about 800 gold before we can actually claim usurp Germany and found the HRE. I seem to have accidentally stopped in the wrong county. They're hiding in the mountains, though. There's a danger there that they'll beat us if we stomp in there with this few people. Okay. That's slightly better. Still not really enough. Right, that's enough. Despite the fairly huge bonus that they'll get from being in mountains, I think we can win this battle now. Yes, right, good. Should improve his opinion of me, or does it only improve the opinion of the local count or something? Yeah, sadly it's only the count whose opinion really doesn't matter. I don't have any special things I can do for rivals. Oh! Oh! We have a rivalry. If we win, we get to imprison him. And 15 tons of prestige. Right. I mean, I'm not sure that's sensible. We can trivially murder him once we've imprisoned him. Right. I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to consider the possibility. I'm going to let time pass so I've got 1,000 prestige on principle. Princess Valpurga has now come back to being my heir. And fairly shortly I will have 1,000 prestige, which should also improve everyone's opinion of me a bit. Like someone's voting for the 73-year-old Prince Gianleone. I have no idea why. Right, so Queen Edda has 1,000 prestige, 500 money. Princess Valpurga as her heir. The King of Germany, the kingdoms of Germany and Denmark currently have different heirs. We have an interesting because I murdered his father, we have a rivalry with King Liudolf, which we can use to declare war on him, which if we won we would imprison him. We have the slight problem that we only have 4 years to win that war, but I think we can win it in 4 years. And then we could probably kill him by some means once he's in our prison, even if we have to resort to doing it by beheading him. So I think that might be our plan for next time. I'm not sure whether next time is going to be Sunday or a week today, because that will depend on whether Ian is going to be doing Rust streamings on Sunday. But we will see that when we see that, and whenever it is, we will come back to Queen Edda and she will engage in some murder and or war as seems appropriate. Until then, let us switch back to realm view. Italy is a weird shape and still hasn't quite turned into the Holy Roman Empire, and so we will say good night. Good night.